It's the National Football League on EA Sports, where we'll see teams who have been division rivals since 1961. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings under the lights on Sunday night.
It's the National Football League presented by EA Sports. Tonight we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Philadelphia Eagles and the Minnesota Vikings. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that could have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
The Florida Atlantic man, Greg Joseph, ready to get this one started. And we are underway here in London. Now this is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. Philly's offense getting ready, and Jalen Hurts ready to lead them. The second-round pick who started his career at Alabama, then finished with an electric senior season at Oklahoma.
Tremendous production in college at 2 different universities, and this is a guy who was a finalist for a Heisman Trophy. Still much more of a runner than a thrower, but has plenty of arm and is capable of making the big throws downfield. And don't underestimate his ability to think the game. Remember, he's the son of a coach.
They start on the ground here at Sanders. And not the start he was hoping for there, as he'll maybe get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Calling no gain on the game's first play. And it's second down now.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10.
Ready.
The tight end in motion right. Second down, back to Sanders. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That's a big loss of 3, and it brings up 3rd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Into heavy traffic. That was hit on the return. It's a loose football. And I think they are going to get this one back. Well, that would have been something. Double turnovers. But instead, they'll keep the possession on the INT. There are 2 words that we hear coaches say all of the time. One starts with a B, one starts with an S. Ball security.
And they preach it. They have it up in meeting rooms, right? You see the signs. They talk about it all the time. But still, when you've got defenders out there who are preaching, hey, we're going to take the ball away from you, no matter what position you play, you've got to take care of the rock.
And now, as with every potential turnover, they're going to take a second look at this just to make sure. And the question, was the knee in fact down before this ball comes loose? And is the video convincing enough to overturn it?
A lot of factors here. Remember, you also need clear possession of football afterwards. This is a tough one to overturn.
After review of the play, ruling on the field is confirmed.
So that one overturned. They say the knee was down, and that will not be ruled a fumble. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. Cousins gives way to Cook. He'll be dropped at the 25 after a gain of 6.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4. Here's Cook again. Gets around him. And some determined running there as he'll pick his way down to the 12-yard line. 13 yards as the Vikings pick up the first down.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
First down. Here's Cousins. And he rifles one incomplete.
I don't see more of them trying to get him the football out of the backfield. They love what he can do in open space, and they believe that he creates mismatches they can exploit.
An incomplete pass on first down. That leads to a 2nd and 10. Up the middle, it's Cook. And here he'll get it down to the 7. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. Now Cousins. Caught on the slant. And he's just going to be short here, barely. Maybe by a half a foot. It'll be 4th and inches.
And let's face it, you can put any Halloween costume on him. You're not going to be able to disguise him, because for a tight end of his size, difficult to sneak him anywhere, but that's what they tried to do.
O'Connell clearly unhappy with that call, and he's thrown that red challenge flag out on the field.
The previous play is under review.
The thing that they'll be looking at is a spot of the football, and this is always such a tough one for officials to get exactly right.
Not just because of how fast the game's going, but just trying to get the right sight line to the football. That's not always easy. We'll see what they decide here.
Delay of game. Offense.
4th down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph for Minnesota. From the left hash, he'll have to cut this at a tight angle. Joseph's got it, and the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. Well, it's not the touchdown that they wanted, CD, but still, they got to be pretty happy here. You steal the ball away from them on their opening possession, and you turn that into the early 3-0 lead.
Yeah, you painted the picture perfectly there, all the things that have gone on, and the important thing, other than the lead, of course, is, as you described, both sides of the ball now have some momentum.
Joseph now to kick this one away. And here comes a return from the middle of the end zone. And they're going to have good starting field position. He's out of bounds, but not before he's across the 35. So back onto the field here come the Eagles for their second drive. And they'll be looking to make amends for that first drive, which came to a rather abrupt ending.
Certainly did, and I remember going back to my notes before this game, and a lot of times when I scout a guy, I have a little section about how does he handle adversity. And in this case, a big check mark. He may have thrown the first interception, but I don't think he's going to throw very many more.
Oh, he's got some breathing room. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Philadelphia. Miles Sanders, 64 yards. And the Eagles are able to answer the early 3 points and take a first-quarter lead.
Bottom line, when you play a runner with these talents, you've got to be able to wrap up and get him on the ground. Or the first person who gets there, hold him up long enough for the next wave to get there and get him down. Otherwise, he will continue downfield and find pay dirt.
On for the extra point, Jake Elliott. He's got it. They'll see that opening drive field goal and raise it a touchdown, and that makes it 7-3. But I'm not sure if they drew that play up to score, but it scored indeed. One play on the ground and into the end zone for 6. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And the Vikings taking the field here for their second drive of the game. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done.
So the completion results there in 9 yards. And they'll have a 2nd and 1 forthcoming. They'll try the middle with Cook. That one a first down pickup of 8. Well, they're making an effort to get the ground game going tonight. So far, it's working.
I like what we're seeing from the offensive line. They seem to have the leverage going, and they're controlling things and reestablishing the line of scrimmage, moving that defensive front backwards. But also like what the runner's giving us, too. It appears that he's been waiting all day long to get out here and take off.
And he goes diving forward to try to get an extra yard or 2. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and they'll be left with 2nd and a couple.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion. They would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication, and as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and it passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
He got maybe a half yard at most, but officially they'll be left with a 3rd and 2.
Absolutely love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On play action, Cousins on the move to his left. Oh, he rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by James Bradbury. And the Eagles are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. Not the best of plays there as a quarterback. You're right-handed, rolling left, trying to throw it that far downfield.
I remember a coach of mine saying, son, that's the equivalent of trying to get the car keys out of your pocket with your opposite hand while you're trying to run. You just can't do it.
Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. Good starting field position for them here as they come up 1st and 10. Just shy of midfield at the 48. It'll be Sanders to begin the drive. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down.
Early down stuff to put this offense in a precarious position. We know that securing the point of attack, especially against the big-bodied guys in the middle of this D, has got to be priority 1.
2nd down, back to Sanders. And he'll be taken down as that will take us to the end of the first quarter of play. After 1, 7-3 the score on EA Sports. start of the second quarter, and it's the Eagles in position. As they've got it with a third down coming up. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. Throwing is Hurts. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. And Daniil Hunter, he's the one who gets in there and brings him down to the ground.
But many times when you talk about mobile quarterbacks, you get the sense that they feel like they can get out of any bad situation. They keep moving around and trying to emulate guys like the Scrambler or the Dodger. Instead, they keep losing yardage and digging themselves a hole that they can't get out of.
On fourth down, the punt team is on as this is sent away. And this returnable for Rager. And he tries to get as much as he can here while protecting the football as he dives to the ground. A 40-yard punt, 5 yards on the return. And it will be Vikings ball, 1st and 10. They start the drive with Cook. And a short pickup to about the 27. It'll be 2nd down.
I feel like I could see what he was thinking on that carry. Wanted to follow that big tackle through the hole. Ended up only getting 4 yards on the carry. I think he had designs on that one being bigger.
2nd down, they go right back to Cook. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
That was a terrific play, causing a loss. As a middle linebacker, simple. You can either fill holes or you can attack them, as he did there.
On 3rd down, Cousins. Eagle pressure, too much this time. Down he goes. Multiple players combined for their team's first sack of the game.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense, 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
So on 4th down, on is the punter, Ryan Wright. And now the punt team couldn't get ready in time, and this is going to be a delay.
Delay of game.
So they accept the penalty, of course, and push the offense backwards a bit.
Still 4th down.
So on 4th down, Ryan Wright on to punt for Minnesota. That'll be a 43-yard punt, just a single yard on the return. And the Eagles will have it, taking over 1st and 10. Philadelphia getting set to take the field. And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3-and-out, then they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
So good starting field position for him here as they come up 1st and 10 at their own 44. are able to strike quickly to add on to their lead.
If I have one word to describe what I just saw there, especially for the defense, it's confusion. Half of them playing the run, half of them playing the pass. Your offensive line is doing their run blocking best. That allowed them to escape for a monster run downfield.
Elliott on for the extra point. And this one's right through to make it a 14-3 ball game. So they hit pay dirt on just one play. The long run, the scamper, and a very nice scamper into the end zone for the touchdown. Now after the touchdown, here's Elliott on to kick it away. And he'll just take a seat, and the drive will begin at the 25-yard line. Now this offense back out and set to go for their next drive. Well, it's been very much a slow start for them. 3 drives and just the 3 points, CD.
Yeah, if you're into the points per drive ratio, that answer is 1. And that's not going to get it done.
They're looking for Jefferson, but this is intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And the Eagles are going to take possession of the football.
Brandon, this is a veteran quarterback back there. He should know better than to make a throw like this. This is definitely not his best ball, and I think he knew this was trouble the second it was leaving his hand.
The Eagles coming out as they get ready. And they'll have good field position here following the interception and a chance to build on their lead as they start with a 1st and 10. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the gun, it's Hurts. He's going to take a shot right away for the end zone. And this is going to be intercepted. It's Cameron Dantzler who picks it. And the Vikings are going to have it here at their own 9-yard line. Well, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
And out now come the Vikings. They got the ball now following a big play, keeping the other guys out of the end zone. Now they'll start deep in their own territory, 1st and 10. Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll take this one up to about the 13. Credit the tackle to Darius Slay.
Brandon, we just saw the benefits of being able to run the ball successfully. They pick up 4 yards on that carry. So now if you're a play caller, you can do just about anything you want, but on the defensive side of the ball, you scramble a little bit. Now you're behind trying to figure out, do I need to blitz him? Do I need to pressure him? How do I gain an advantage on this snap?
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, this defense is going to have to finish the job. There's still a second half that they have to play, but so far, an absolute total effort. They've disrupted the passing game, stressed the pocket for the quarterback. They forced him into errant throws. Everything they're doing has been executed well.
13 yards as the Vikings pick up the 1st down.
Well, a lot of times when you get a manageable 3rd down situation like this, you have to think about your tight end, and he comes through for him, picking up the 1st down.
First down, here's the run with Cook. And some room to run now. And he'll have it past midfield almost to the 40 before being taken down. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And he's got some space here. And they'll wind up getting this one all the way down inside the 20. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Running off tackle with Cook. Give the tackle to Hassan Reddick.
That was a particularly nice play because not only was it his job to force the play inside, He was actually able to fold inside himself and make the tackle ultimately. Very nicely done.
We've got a 14-3 ball game with 2 minutes left in the opening half. They'll try to throw now. Cousins. And that'll be incomplete.
This is a half where not just the coverage, but the entire defense is setting the tone in this game.
8th play of the drive forthcoming, and they need 8 yards on 3rd down. Cousins now. And he's wrapped up. Taken down. Back at the 25. The Eagles going to take the first of their timeouts. It's just their first, so they'll have 2 remaining here before we get to halftime. 4th down, field goal try coming, so Cousins is off, and on comes Greg Joseph for Minnesota. Made his first, this now from 42 yards out. The kick by Joseph is good, and a second field goal here cuts their deficit to 14-6 now. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense, the firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
This will be brought out from the middle of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have taken a knee as he only gets this out to the 16-yard line. Here's the Philadelphia offensive unit now as they head out to take over possession. For this offense, Charles, you got to think kind of crucial here to put something together on this drive, because remember last time out they threw the interception on the very first play.
And you can't afford to let this defense keep building any more momentum. They're playing awfully well, and they're awfully confident right now. To me, it's time to attack and take some of that momentum back. But make sure you're selective in doing so. Understand where you want to throw the football and make sure it's open before the ball leaves your hands.
Well, the first 2 drives yielded touchdowns, so there's no reason for them to feel like they have to pull back on the reins. They pushed it downfield, looking for another one right there. Didn't get it, but we know they're going to continue to be bold.
To throw again on 2nd down. Hurts. And this one complete to Smith. And he'll lose yardage on this one back to the 13. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. I'm not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete. So touchdowns on their first 2 drives, but looking like that won't be the case here.
Yeah, it looks like someone put their dukes up a little bit, doesn't it? Maybe decided to finally make a stand, because those first 2 drives, they got run over. Now, finally, got their feet under them, got a little bit of balance. They're getting off the field.
It'll be a 39-yard punt, no return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. And you see Dalvin Cook in the offense heading back out. Now he's having himself a little bit of a banner game. His team right now, though, losing.
Needs a little bit of help. And I kind of equate it to a basketball game where you have the big score, and sometimes your strategy is, okay, he can go ahead and have all of his points. Let's hold down everyone else, and that's the way you win the game. And right now, he needs everyone else to start scoring, quote-unquote, as he's been.
Yeah, he's hoping to keep it close so maybe they can keep it on the ground, not start to go through the air as much. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. Another try after the first down sack. Cousins. And that is knocked away in the middle of the field and incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began, thanks to a great defensive effort. Sack on 1st down, followed by an incompletion. One more good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. The Eagles will take their 3rd and final timeout as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. Here's Ryan Wright now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. 46 on his first kick. This one in that neighborhood as well. It's a return of 4 following a 42-yard punt. And it will be Eagles football, 1st and 10. The Eagles offense going to take over late in this first half. And we'll see how this is played. Offensively, they've got the lead. Not a whole lot of time left. What do you think, Charles?
Well, it's tempting to try and add to your lead, but a mistake there, that could change things in a big way. I say go ahead, take the knee, get on out for the half.
Now here's a pass on 1st down. It's knocked away and incomplete.
As a coaching staff, you can call just about whatever you want because you understand you have guys who reliably take away those massive shots downfield. You're not as worried about giving up the big one.
To throw on 2nd and 10. Hurts. That's caught by the big tight end, Dallas Goedert. And down he goes, but he takes it up to the 40. On 1st down, Hurts. Looking here for Smith downfield. And that is incomplete.
Early on, the running game's been working well, and the offensive line has been pleased by that. The thought process there, catch those safeties creeping up, trying to help against the running game. They tried to hit them over the top, unsuccessfully.
So after the incompletion on 1st, now 2nd and 10. Here's Hurts to throw. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. And the Vikings are going to have the short field here as they'll take over right at the 50. Well, Charles, so close to halftime there. You throw the interception. Not only that, you do give it to them in plus territory as well.
Yeah, they were pushing real hard to try and get something more on the board on their side of the ledger right before the half. Looking at it with 20/20 hindsight, though, might have been better to hand it off a few times, hoping to get something to break instead of putting the ball in the air and, of course, putting the ball in jeopardy.
Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. This one caught. It's the tight end Hockenson. And he is brought down, but not before reaching the 30. So we've reached halftime here, and it's our visitors, the Eagles, leading this one. As it's time now to send you back stateside to Orlando, Florida, and check in with Jonathan Coachman at our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much. Back to you guys in a bit. But first, we welcome everyone to our EA Sports Halftime Report. First things first, let's get a check on the next-gen stats from that first half for Philadelphia. And it was a tricky half to figure out numbers-wise. They've got the lead, but you'd figure they're definitely talking about ways to get this passing game back on track. Both teams making their final adjustments. We're closing in on the second half. And for the call, let's get you back over to London, where we rejoin Brandon Gaudin.
Okay, Coach, appreciate it. A one-touchdown game here as we get set to resume play in the second half. As they say here in London, all to play for as we are back underway in the second half. And we will not see a return to start the half as this will be a touchback. And the Vikings set to go on offense to begin the third quarter. All in all, pretty manageable deficit, Charles, here as they start this third quarter offensively when you consider the fact that in the first two quarters, they had two costly turnovers.
I think you laid it out there perfectly, partner. Very tough to hold a lead going into the break if you continue to hand it over on multiple drives.
Yeah, and obviously, Charles, it would be very tough to climb back into the game if those turnovers continue.
I would say borderline impossible. You keep turning it over, I don't know how you make up a deficit.
A gain of 8 there on the play. And that'll bring up a second down in just a couple.
They kept the receiver in the short field, but that let his quarterback get the ball quickly to him before either guy in double coverage could react.
Here's a 2nd and 2 now from the 33. Cook up the gut. And he'll only get a yard to bring up 3rd and 1.
I I know that speed is the hallmark of today's NFL game, but the key to good rushing defense is still having your linebackers set the edge.
So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. Throw caught there by Osborne. And he will have a Vikings first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
And partner, they're locked in man coverage out left, and they end up running a crossing route. Rounded it a little bit more than a slant. And he's just going to angle himself towards the right side of the field, and that's very difficult for a defender to shadow him across all that ground.
Cousins throw complete to his receiver, Thielen. Now he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. Call that a very strong gain of 24.
Now what we're seeing, this is much better from this offense because so far in this game, no touchdown to this point, and what's usually a direct correlation? Very few explosive plays. That's been their issue. Not able to make that big shot downfield or break one off, but a nice game there for a first down.
And he'll get what he can up the middle, 3 yards, so that'll bring up 2nd down.
Yeah, I don't know if it's exactly a win-win, but if you're on offense, you'll take that kind of a run, all right? It was kind of stacked up, found a little bit of yardage, and frankly, they're pretty close to staying on schedule on offense. The playbook is still open for the coordinator.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Here's Cousins. And incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating the defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
They got to get to the 23 here on 3rd. Cousins to throw it. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 38. Dropped for a loss of 6 by multiple defenders.
And this dominant defensive performance continued on that play. This poor quarterback has not received the protection he needs and has had to pick himself up off the turf far too often.
So now on comes the field goal unit, and wow, this is no ordinary try here. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt, and that'll get the lead down to 5. So they were facing the deficit coming out of the locker room at intermission, and at least they're able to get the field goal to cut into that deficit.
Yeah, now your offense feels pretty good about itself, right? A little bit more up to speed coming out of the break. You turn to your defense now and say, hey, we got 3 there. We're chipping into the lead. Can you help us out? Hold them. Let's get the ball back for us.
This is going to be returned from the middle of the end zone. And he's able to get this across the 20, but not by much as he's marked down officially at the 21. He threw the interception on the previous drive, but that only led to 3 points. Defense held him to a field goal. They're still working with a lead here as they start out 1st and 10. Hurts and the Eagles come up here 1st and 10 at their own 21. They'll start with a handoff to Sanders. And he gets forward up the middle, but only for a couple. It'll be 2nd down.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground. But I think the play gets made by the defensive front. Because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
They'll send the big tight end in motion right. 2nd down, back to Sanders. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. 75 yards for him on the ground now. He has been a tough man to bring down all night.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they are playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time, and making it work.
On 1st and 10, it's Sanders. Tackle made there by Jordan Hicks.
Not a huge play, but I think they're more than happy with how it turned out. Don't be surprised to see them revisit that call because there was a lane there for more than just 5 yards. Put it in your back pocket and break it out when you need it later.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Another run with Sanders. And he's dropped just before the line to gain. 4-yard pickup leaves him with 3rd and 1.
Typically, we think it's the strong safeties that are better tacklers, especially closer to the line of scrimmage amidst traffic. But in this case, how about the free safety coming up and making the big-time play?
On 3rd down, they'll run it with Sanders. They get 6 on the pickup there as the drive will continue.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7 reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
They'll fake the give to Sanders, and now Hurts. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Daniil Hunter, his 2nd sack of the night. We've seen him escape similar situations earlier in the game and get away for pretty good yardage, and that time they get him down.
Yeah, they've had enough evidence that he can get away and run for good yardage, haven't they? That time it felt like, okay, enough of this. Let's play it the right way and get him on the ground before he does any damage.
A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
And those two just haven't been in sync thus far. They've done a nice job against him, but still, with his talent, you would expect him to have more completions to him in this game.
A long way to go here on 3rd down for the 8th play of the drive. Hurts. Now they go screen. It's complete. And he'll be brought down right around the 37. Now a timeout called for by the defense. And as the two teams talk it over on their respective sidelines, we take a break.
And that's a play that's not uncommon on 3rd and long because the offense is just hoping that somehow they can get a guy in space and follow some blockers downfield. Does a pretty nice job there getting a few yards, but he ends up getting stopped before he can get the 1st down.
The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to kick it away. Here comes Rager. 1 quarter remains here on a Sunday night. You are watching the NFL on EA Sports. Welcome back now here in London. It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the 4th. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Their defense accomplished step 1 of the mission. They forced the punt. Now they'll look to erase that deficit and take a 4th quarter lead. Now a deep ball here, hauled in just past the 50. And he's going to be knocked down just inside the 35.
That could very well be a defining play in this game. A touchdown, that gives them the lead, and they took a major step towards getting there with that big play right there.
Handoff comes to Cook. Slipped 1 tackle, but no more as he's knocked to the deck behind the line of scrimmage. The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose 1 or 2. So after the loss of a yard, they'll look to push forward here on 2nd down and 11. Cousins. Flush to his right. Open man is Osborne. He's got it. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game. Red flag out on the field. We'll have a challenge forthcoming.
After review of the play, ruling on the field.
So the challenge there does not go their way. This will indeed remain a completed pass. So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Throw left side on target to Thielen. And they're going to be set up now with the ball at the 13-yard line.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
2nd and 4. A give. This is Cook. And he's going to be brought down just shy of the 5 at the 6. 105 yards on the ground for him now as he has gotten better, really, as the night's going on.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive in both the run and passing game in order for them to try and snatch a victory.
And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
Dalvin Cook so good in the open field, but he's equally good down here near the goal line. He can find those seams and just push his way through. So he might get another chance or two to punch this one in.
3 red zone trips have yielded just 2 field goals for them to this point, so they'll be searching for something more on 2nd and goal here. Cook will get down close to the goal line, but not in, and as he'll be marked down at the 1. Call it a gain of a couple. The defense stiffening here. It's 3rd and goal.
His path became similar to almost running a stretch play, didn't it? Trying to find a crease, anywhere to put his foot in the ground and cut back. It just never materialized.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. And that'll be a free 5 yards for the offense.
Just like a tennis match, that's just an unforced error. Stay alert, don't jump early, and give them free yardage.
The ball placed just outside of the end zone as they come up again on another 3rd and goal. It's Cousins on the sneak, and I don't think he got there. No, they stop him right where it all started. Only a few inches needed on the sneak. He didn't get it, and now it's 4th down. Trying the power game with Ham. And I don't think he got in. He did it. He stopped at the 1-yard line. They tried to let the fullback pound it in between the tackles, but he stopped up short. And this Eagle defense stands tall down near the goal line. And defensively, they were ready for that, a full-on blitz on 4th down, and they stop him short of the marker.
Oh, and someone's got to feel really good about that, and that's the defensive coordinator. He dialed up a great run blitz defense, and they hit it just right. Stack that thing up. They're going to feel awesome going to the bench after that big play.
And he will forge his way forward only up to the 2-yard line. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. So 4th quarter, a nice run there to start this drive. Charles, what do you think the split will be here between run and pass?
Well, partner, I think it'll lean towards the run, but this is also not a time where you just totally do that. You still have to possess the ball, move the sticks, and keep the clock moving as well. So they'll run their offense, but yeah, when they have a chance to run it, they'll do that a little bit more.
A tight game like this, such a tough spot for the offense to be in. Even though they have the lead, Charles, back up so close to their goal line, they got to protect the football.
And that's when you have to take care of your team with play calling as well. Not a lot of misdirection, not a lot of counters, not a lot of plays where you have extra ball handling. Get it right to the hands of your running back, tell him to take care of the ball, and try and move forward.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Another run here with Sanders, and he maybe makes it back to the line of scrimmage. That's it. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts. That's going to leave them with just 1 remaining here in this 4th quarter. The Eagles send out their punter now as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. And he's able to get it out of there. Oh, good move. Call that a 41-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Vikings, they'll be set up well as they take over in great field position. 1st and 10. A 1st down throw for Cousins. And nowhere to fit that football in. It's knocked away and incomplete.
He came through well with a nice pass breakup there. Fortunate that he was on the spot. He's the only guy left to prevent the first down.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Meanwhile, Cousins' throw taken in by Hockenson here. And he'll go down, but not before getting us inside the 30. That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
And here we are in the 4th quarter, partner, and we watch them drive for what would be a go-ahead touchdown. And you and I both know this is where you need a quarterback who can keep his cool back there. Not just for himself, but to keep the rest of the team relaxed too.
First down, here's Cousins. And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. They come up on a 2nd down now in a game that looks like it's going to go down to the wire. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Here's Cousins. And this one is incomplete.
Now we're in the situation where the quarterback's got to take full charge of his own. Got to totally command and make sure all eyes are on him. All focus is locked in. Going to call multiple plays and go over different situations and scenarios to make sure everyone is on the same page.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Now Cousins. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down. That's sack courtesy of the effort of Hassan Reddick. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line.
On a huge mistake late, it's intercepted. And the Eagles have just about sewn up this football game. Well, you knew you had to take some chances here with the clock winding down, needing a touchdown to win it, and that one might have just sealed their fate.
Yeah, and that's the nature of the 2-minute drill. The offense trying to go downfield and make their plays. But defenses, they're sitting back watching everything that they do, but not too far back. They want to be in position to make a play on the ball, and that they did.
The Eagles in the victory formation as they take a knee. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. So it's a victory here for the Philadelphia Eagles, and it was a bit of a strange game. They were held scoreless through the entire second half, but their first half output, that's enough to carry them to victory.
And that's an odd game to watch, isn't it? Because when we saw the output in the first half, you think to yourself, okay, they've got something working here. They know what they're doing. They'll continue that along. But instead, it's goose eggs in the second half. Fortunately, enough of a cushion and enough defense to carry them home.